Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about this Chase free money bank glitch situation that's been going on over the last couple of days, right? So I don't know if you guys have already seen this or not. I know it pretty much went viral on both TikTok and Twitter already, but over the last couple of days, there's been this quote-unquote glitch going on at a specific bank chain. And so a bunch of people here in the United States have been seeing these videos on TikTok and whatnot, where people are claiming that you can quote-unquote get free money by just going to a Chase bank location and essentially committing a felony that is very obviously recorded. And somehow people actually believed this, you know, they actually thought, gee, I can go to a financial institution and get free money. And, you know, there wasn't any alarm bells that went off in their head. Nobody like really sat there and thought twice about it, I guess. They just kind of thought, well, if some guy in my magic cell phone screen tells me on a website that I can do this, then surely I can actually pull this off, right? Well, as it turns out, no. You cannot actually scam the financial institutions of America. Now, you would think common sense would tell somebody with really any level of brain power left in their head at all that trying to go one-on-one with these billion-dollar bank corporations isn't really going to be a winning battle pretty much any time ever, right? But somehow people have yet to learn this, right? And so kind of like how, I don't know if you guys remember back a few months ago at this point now at least, there was the whole like free DoorDash glitch where people were like trying to get thousands of dollars worth of shit through the app for free, and then they're sitting there like mind boggled the next day when they wake up and they owe $7,000, you know what I mean? So that's basically what happened here, okay? Now, there's videos of people lining up down the street, around the block, right, to go to these Chase ATMs. Now, basically, the idea behind this whole thing was, right, you go to the ATM, and you basically were supposed to, like, put in this massive check, right? Now, of course, this is just a usually ludicrous amount of money. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, right, you got a fake check that you wrote yourself for like $35,000, okay? Now, the idea was you go, you put that in the ATM, okay? Chase's bank will then like process the transaction as if it's happening, right? And so the $35,000 would pop up in your account. But unfortunately, it would take the system a few minutes to realize like, oh shit, this is a bad check. But of course, before the system would recognize like, hey, they're giving a bad $35,000 check, people would withdraw the balance of $35,000 that the system was now putting on their account. So they were essentially putting fake, fraudulent checks into the machine. They were then cashing out the rewards that they got from it before the bank could really, you know, correct the error, right? And they thought that this was like some just genius concept that, you know, it was going to make people generational money. It was going to make them, if you wanted to, you could just fucking literally print money, you know? Just go to the Chase Bank ATM and just fucking run it up, bro. But of course, well, if you know anything about reality, this was not going to last long. And so what has happened now is all of these people who ran to the ATM to do this, right, to bounce these bad checks and run off with the money before the bank could account for it, right? They are now noticing that over this 3-day weekend we had here in the United States for Labor Day, that their fucking bank accounts were getting frozen. And not only that, but they noticed that their balance would be adjusted to reflect the check that they tried to bounce out of the account. So essentially, people trying to print free money by committing literal felony check fraud were basically bear trapping themselves, right? And freezing their accounts for up to a week and giving themselves these lucrative, just like ridiculous fucking amount balances, right? I mean, the average person, imagine if you just had $20,000 taken out of your bank account, okay? Well, that's basically what happened to a lot of these fucking idiots who decided to go and try and do this, right? Now, I don't really understand what people were thinking because I would assume many of these people had to have created their own bank account, right? Now, I don't know about you guys, but me, I remember creating my bank account, my first one at least, you know, all the time ago, right? And I remember the paperwork that it took to file out, right? Now, usually when you create a bank account, especially here in the United States, you have to like, you know, put your name on the bank account, right? Like your full government name, your date of birth, your social security number or your tax number, your current address for like mailing purposes, right? So in essence, you basically give the bank all of these government-backed documents that prove your identity, that like basically can just completely smoke your shit, right? So that way you can't be committing like tax fraud and shit through your bank account. They can like track it and find out what you're doing and they know who you are. So all these people who created their own bank accounts, right? would try to cash these checks in their own name. And it's even wilder because, like I said, it got to a point where it was going around on TikTok and other social media. People started jumping the bandwagon, lining up, trying to do it themselves. And not one of them was smart enough to realize that not only were they committing a felony, they were committing perhaps one of the most traceable and easy to find felonies really that you can commit. So not only were they committing these easy to track criminal options, right? Not only were they doing that, they were filming themselves doing it. You know, people were posting on their stories and whatnot, them doing it, or uploading videos of themselves doing it to the internet, or talking about how they got it to work and shit, right? And it just makes you wonder, like, how can criminals be so stupid, right? Like, how could you be this dumb? So not only did they go to the bank to commit felonies with these checks, right, to cash out money that they obviously didn't have and try to, like, take money from the bank, they did it in a super traceable way under all of their own legal information and then filmed and uploaded themselves doing it for social media. And it just makes me wonder, like, you know, you would think that if you're going to be a criminal, right, and especially if you're going to be a criminal that's, like, actually stealing from financial institutions and banks and taking possibly tens of thousands of dollars in some of these cases, right, you would think you'd want the least amount of traceable evidence back to you to exist as possible. But I mean, like, if you've even been to a modern ATM, right, like, they all have a camera right there. I mean, they literally take a fucking picture and video of your face when you access the ATM. And these people were, like, putting their own debit cards in the machines and shit to, like, activate the transaction. And it's one of these situations, like I said, it's happened time and time again where people seem to think somehow that you can actually get something for free, right? You can actually just make it appear from thin air. Now, obviously, none of these people considered the consequences of what they were doing, right? They're too fucking stupid, right? They just saw, like, the little money cash signs pop off in their eyes, and that's all that they thought about, of course. But now you're seeing a lot of these videos coming across on social media of these people not only admitting that they basically did it, right? But then, like, posting their negative balances and shit. And they're, like, coping about it, like, oh my god, man, how could this happen to me? I owe $45,000 and I can't move any money in or out of my account for a week because it's fucking frozen after I tried to commit a felony through my wiring. Oh my god, how could this happen to me? And it makes me think, man, like, this is like an actual problem in society because it wasn't like 10 people did this, you know what I mean? There were people lining up around blocks to do this shit, like actually showing up in person. And it's just crazier to me that, like, people will actually go through the effort, right, to leave their house, get dressed up or whatever, throw a fucking outfit on, drive down to the Chase Bank, right? They'll sit in line for 2.5 hours with their fucking debit card and a fake felony check in their hand to cash into the ATM, right? And they'll sit there all day waiting to use the machine to commit a felony on camera, but they won't put the same effort into just going to fucking McDonald's and getting a job app, you know? Like, you'll go sit out in the sun for 8 hours and possibly go to prison for 15 fucking years, but you won't just, you know, swallow your pride and go fucking shovel gravel into a construction project or something, right? Like, it just make sense, bro. Make it fucking make sense, because, like, how are you a grown adult and you think there's such thing as, like, a fucking free money glitch? Like, this is the kind of thing that you hear and it's like, wow, this is some shit I would have believed when I was, like, 11 years old, when I had no fundamental understanding of how money works at all, how a bank works at all. This is what I would have thought was possible. Like, yeah, I could just do that and make money, right? But of course, you know, when you're a fucking 10, 11-year-old child or whatever, that's pretty normal. That's like, oh, okay, he's a fucking kid. These are grown adults, like, who can vote, they can drive cars, they can own firearms legally. Probably not after they get convicted of this felony, but it just, like, it's mind-blowing, man, that these are people just walking around, you know, just fucking being themselves in society, and they think that this is just how everything works, bro. Now, obviously, the bank is gonna track what's going on, right? They're gonna track every single dollar that goes in and out anywhere, right? That's pretty much like the sole function of a bank, is to, like, manage and look over money. Pretty much when they can't really do that, that's not a good sign for them as a institution, okay? So did these people, like, actually think that Chase Bank wasn't gonna notice, like, oh, there's thousands of people just cashing suddenly in these locations checks of $50,000? And like there wasn't gonna be a fucking investigation, you know? So when I was a young kid, man, my dad told me something that really has stuck with me for most of my life now, and I think it's really applicable in a situation like this. Because I feel like a lot of people, they don't get to hear like these tidbits of wisdom when they're young, so it can actually like permeate into their head and they can kind of really get the concept right. But it goes something like this, okay? When something seems just too outlandish, too good to be true, the pot of gold seems to just be too crazy, right? The chances are that's exactly what it is. It's just bullshit. It's a facade. So when someone comes up, not even comes up to you in this case, when someone on the fucking internet, on TikTok.com, or on the TikTok app or whatever, right, tells you that, hey, go commit this felony on camera and you can make money, right? It's a free money glitch. You would think that people would just pass along, right? Like, oh, fuck that. That's stupid, right? Ignore. But all it really takes is like one or two people to post that, and then, you know, a couple other people try it, it works, and then it just spreads like wildfire from there, right? Because of course, when you're committing these crimes and you're stealing thousands upon thousands of dollars, you need to tell everybody that that's what you're doing. And that's the problem in a lot of these, right? People will go out of their way to like film themselves acting fucking stupid, and they'll just like completely compile the evidence for the police right for them. I mean, in some of these cases, man, they got people just like dead ass filming themselves at the ATM doing it, right? But also at the same time with this whole situation, there's also been this like weird phenomenon of what I like to call clout chasers, okay? These are people who, for whatever reason, they're not getting enough attention in their own life or whatever. I really don't know, man, but they're literally cosplaying as the stupid fucks who were like actually cashing these bogus checks or whatever. And they're like using doctored screenshots or like, you know, random screenshots off the internet that they found on fucking Google, right, of a negative chase balance. And they're trying to pretend like, oh man, well, I did this and look at me now, right? And what they're trying to do, weirdly enough, I feel like here, is they're trying to use this moment of like general stupidity among the general public. And they're trying to cosplay as the other fucking fools who participated in doing whatever this is. So realistically, what these people are doing is they're going to TikTok and they're putting on like clown makeup, metaphorically, and they're going, hey guys, I'm one of the stupid fucks too. Aren't I really cool? Woohoo! Give me attention too. I'm one of the dum-dums. And it's like, that might even be worse to me, right? Because like the people who actually did it, who were fucking dumb enough, who had no understanding of the world around them enough to think that they were gonna get away with this, right? They went out and actually tried to do it, you know? They had the gumption to really be fucking stupid and really test the line and watch, you know, the fucking water pull them down or whatever. But these other idiots who are like cosplaying as the stupid people, they just want like internet attention. And they want like their 10 seconds of virality where it's like, hey guys, look at me, I'm the fucking idiot, point and laugh at me. And it's like, I've never seen people like voluntarily make themselves seem moronic for no reason or no gain to the degree that I'm seeing it here. It's really weird. It's like very fucking bizarre that I'm even discussing this part of it, right? But yeah, that's a very weird thing going on with this whole situation. I don't know, man. It's just one of those like life lessons I feel like you're supposed to learn really early on in life. You know what I mean? That like you shouldn't trust strangers enough with your personal freedom and security to just blindly believe everything they say and follow them like a confused fucking puppy. And especially to the degree that it like actually negatively damages your life and it ruins opportunities for you. Because realize this, right? You know, you might think, oh, well, it's not that serious, man. They'll get a slap on the wrist. And maybe that's true. Maybe they won't go to the fucking Supermax prison or anything, right? But to the people who will be charged for this, because there will be people who get charged for this, make no mistake. These people will forever have a serious financial felony on their record. And at so many different jobs and areas of society and stuff, having such a bad image and a bad reputation as to have bouncing a bad check felonies on your record, right, with the bank, that's not a good look going down the road for a job or anything. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for a lot of these people. But then again, remember too, once again, these are the people who would sit outside for 10 hours in the fucking sun to wait for the opportunity to try and rob the ATM on a fairy dream told to them by some guy on the internet, than to go serve a medium fry on the side at Wendy's, right? I don't get it, but apparently like being an honest person and like doing an honest day's work and really just like grinding your way to the top, That's not something that people are interested in, right? A lot of people, they want to just fucking get it the quickest way, and they do stupid shit like this. But man, it obviously is a pretty massive trap. And I think that's another angle to consider too, right? Like the conspiracy side of this. What if Chase just like fucking fabricated this entire online trend to basically like honeypot these dumbasses into walking in and basically telling on themselves? Now, I don't fully think that's what happened here, but if it did come out that that was the case, I would be absolutely unsurprised, and realistically, it would probably be a pretty funny outcome, because it'd just be like, the only people who would be found guilty of this entire thing are simply just people who would deserve it. I don't know, man. It is what it is. I just thought it was ridiculous, and just to have watched this whole thing unfold over the last, I don't know, 72 hours or so, it's been a really interesting one, man. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about the new Chase free money glitch, and signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs. For $10 a month, you get access to loads of exclusive videos and archived live streams, my members only Minecraft server where you can possibly appear in gameplay, early access to all new uploads, an invitation to the private Discord, and much more.